My father told me to step aside when he favored his favorite son. He said, "Walk away if you don't like it." I did. He regretted it within weeks. My father looked me dead in the eyes and said, "If you don't like Brandon taking over, then walk away." 9 years of sacrifice, 9 years of building his dream. And in that moment, he tossed me aside like I'd never mattered. And so I walked. And 3 months later, the company he gave to my brother was gasping for air. And the business I built from nothing, it became everything he wished he hadn't thrown away. If you've ever been pushed aside, underestimated, or told you didn't deserve what you worked your soul into, hit that like button. Subscribe if you love stories where karma comes gift wrapped. Because this is the story of how I turned betrayal into the sweetest comeback of my life. I grew up believing loyalty meant something, especially in a family business. My dad built a logistics company from scratch when I was a kid. 2 trucks, 1 shabby warehouse, and a determination that could crush mountains. I admired him. Hell, I wanted nothing more than to stand beside him someday and run the place. So right after college, I joined him. And I didn't just work, I lived that business. Early mornings, late nights, weekends, all of it. I studied the routes, memorized clients' quirks, handled emergencies, closed deals, even slept in the office when shipments got delayed during storms. Everyone in the company, drivers, dispatchers, admin staff, they all assumed I'd take over when my dad retired. Honestly, I assumed so too, but everything changed the moment my younger brother Brandon found himself. Brandon had never spent more than 6 months at any job. He'd bounce around, burn bridges, then walk into family dinners complaining that the world didn't recognize his genius. Dad always shrugged, always forgave him. "He's young," he'd say. "He just hasn't found his place yet." Well, apparently his place was my future. One Thursday morning, Dad called a meeting. He stood at the head of the conference table with this proud, almost glowing expression. I figured maybe we'd landed a big client. Then he said words that will stay carved in my memory forever. "Starting next month, Brandon will be taking over operations." My heart stopped. Operations was my department, my baby. I had built it into a well-oiled machine for years. I felt heat crawl up my neck. "Dad, we didn't talk about this." He gave me this dismissive look, like I was a child interrupting adult conversation. "You'll move into a strategy role," he said. "Less stress. Brandon needs a chance to lead." A chance? He couldn't even lead a grocery list. Across the table, Brandon leaned back in his chair, smirking like a man who'd just won the lottery he didn't buy a ticket for. I swallowed every word burning at the back of my throat. I told myself my dad must have a plan, that he wouldn't just push me aside without reason. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Big mistake. I wish I could tell you Brandon tried, but he didn't. He strutted around barking orders without understanding anything. He'd change delivery routes because they looked better on paper. He'd lose track of invoices. He'd scream at drivers for being too slow, not realizing they were following safety protocols. He took 3-hour lunch breaks. He bragged to clients about his new role, often revealing sensitive information he didn't even know how to contextualize. And Dad, he defended him like a bodyguard. Whenever someone complained, Dad would say, "He's learning. Jack, help your brother." Help? I was practically doing his job for him while he posed like a CEO. My resentment grew like rot. The worst part? Clients noticed. I got emails, calls, people asking if everything was okay, wondering why decisions were suddenly stupid. But I was expected to shield Brandon while staying invisible, until the day everything snapped. One Monday morning, Dad called me into his office. Brandon was already there, feet up on Dad's desk. Dad smiled like nothing was wrong. "Jack, we've decided Brandon will be promoted to Chief of Operations." My jaw literally dropped. "What? Based on what? He's been here 4 months." Dad's face hardened. "You need to stop acting so entitled." Entitled. 9 years of sacrifice, 9 years of building the damned company, and I was being entitled. I leaned forward, trying to keep my voice steady. "Dad, he's driving the company into the ground. You know it. Everyone knows it." Dad slammed his hand on the table. "If you don't like the decision," he gestured toward the door, "walk away." There it was. My father choosing his golden child over the son who'd been breaking his back for nearly a decade. I looked at him. Really looked. The man I'd admired wasn't standing in front of me anymore, so I nodded. "Okay," I said quietly. "I'll walk." Brandon laughed and, "Good luck out there, big bro." I walked out of that office feeling hollow, but free. Starting my own logistics company, Forge Logistics, wasn't glamorous. It was terrifying. I rented a tiny office with peeling paint, bought one used truck, built a website at 3 a.m. with YouTube tutorials. But something inside me had been reignited, a fire my father had tried to snuff out, but only made burn hotter. I reached out to clients, not aggressively, just honestly. I'm starting something new. If you want reliability and transparency, I'm here. Many didn't switch immediately. I didn't expect them to, but they watched. And they saw the chaos happening at my father's company. Emails unanswered, deliveries late, damaged shipments. Brandon blaming everyone but himself. Little by little, clients began calling me. "Hey Jack, are you taking new accounts?" I worked harder than I'd ever worked. I hired slowly, people who cared. I reinvested every dollar, and we grew, month by month, client by client, truck by truck, until one day, Forge Logistics wasn't a baby company anymore. It was a rising competitor, and my father noticed. Rumors reached me from old coworkers. Brandon skipped inventory audits. He ignored fleet maintenance. He changed accounting software without telling anyone. He rebranded the company with neon green trucks. Everyone hated it. One time, he missed an entire meeting with a huge potential client because he was hungover. Drivers started quitting, dispatchers walked out, clients began leaving in waves, and every time Dad tried to fix something, Brandon got defensive. "You never believe in me," he'd shout. That guilt tripping always worked on Dad until it didn't. 3 months after I quit, I got a call I never expected. Dad. His voice was strained, tight. "Jack, we need to talk." I met him at a coffee shop. He looked older, smaller, like the weight of denial had finally crushed him. He sighed. "The company, it's falling apart." I stayed quiet. He rubbed his eyes. "Brandon wasn't ready. I should have listened. I shouldn't have said what I said to you." There it was, the apology I'd wanted for so long. He took a shaky breath. "Would you consider coming back? Help me fix this." For a moment, I felt that old instinct, wanting to save him, to save the company I once loved. But then I remembered his words. "Walk away." So I did. Again. I shook my head. "Dad, I've built something of my own now, something I'm proud of." He looked devastated, but he nodded. "I understand." He didn't. Not fully, but maybe for the first time he was willing to. And when my father's company finally collapsed under Brandon's leadership, many of their clients moved to Forge Logistics. Not because I stole them, not because I badmouthed anyone, but because they chose reliability over chaos. Brandon tried to blame me online, calling me a poacher. People laughed at him. His temper tantrums only made him look worse. And Dad? He eventually sold what was left of the company. A shell. One day, he visited my new office, the one with clean walls, organized logistics boards, and a team that respected me. He walked around quietly, then said, "You built something incredible, Jack." I smiled. No shortcuts, no favoritism. He nodded slowly. "I'm proud of you." It wasn't revenge in the dramatic sense. There were no explosions, no public scenes, just justice. He threw me away. He underestimated me. He replaced me with someone who hadn't earned it. And in the end, I built something he couldn't ignore, even if he wanted to. Standing in my own office while my father stood there realizing what he'd lost, that was the closure. Not anger, not bitterness, just the quiet satisfaction of knowing that the son he dismissed had done more than walk away. I rose higher, on my own terms. Sometimes life doesn't hand you the apology you deserve. Sometimes it gives you an opportunity, and you build your own victory with your bare hands. If someone sidelines you, underestimates you, or treats your loyalty like a weakness, let them. Your success will speak louder than any revenge ever could. If this story hit you in the chest even a little, smash that like button. Tell me in the comments, have you ever walked away from someone who didn't value you? And of course, subscribe for more stories that prove karma has a perfect memory.